I turned on the projector and their messages appeared on the wall. Jake, my boyfriend, froze and Sarah, my best friend, turned pale. He cheated on me with her. People around started whispering and I just said, "Now I know who you really are." But what happened next, they'll remember forever. Let's start from the beginning. I always thought my life was like a perfect picture from a romantic movie. Jake and I had been together for 3 years. We traveled together, made plans for the future, and even talked about getting married. I was sure he was my soulmate. We shared everything, dreams, fears, even our social media password. Yes, I knew his password. And he knew mine. We trusted each other completely. And Sarah. Sarah was my best friend. We met in college and since then she had become a part of my life. She was always there, when I cried over work failures, when I fought with Jake, when I just wanted to drink wine and watch TV shows. She knew everything about me, and I thought I knew everything about her. But one evening everything changed. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through Jake's phone. He had left it on the table while he went to take a shower. I wasn't looking for anything suspicious, I just wanted to check if he had texted me while I was in the kitchen. But then I accidentally stumbled upon his messenger. And there it was. Messages. Flirting. Sarah. My hands trembled and my heart stopped. I couldn't believe my eyes. I scrolled up, down, up again. Every word hit me like a hammer. "You're better than her in every way," he wrote. "She'll never find out," she replied. I felt the ground slip from under me. My ears were ringing and there was a hollow emptiness in my chest. Jake and Sarah? How could they? How could they do this to me? I stared at the screen, but the letters blurred. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. I wanted to cry, but the tears wouldn't come. All I felt was shock. Shock that paralyzed me. I heard the water turn off in the bathroom. Jake would be out soon. I quickly closed the app and put the phone back. My hands were still shaking. I sat there, staring at the wall, trying to figure out what to do. But there was only one question in my head: how could they? It was a shock I couldn't recover from. I didn't sleep all night. Every word from their conversation burned my soul like hot iron. I kept scrolling through their messages over and over until they were etched into my mind. They laughed at me. They planned meetings behind my back. Sarah wrote to him, "She'll never find out." And he replied, "You're better than her in every way." Every word felt like a knife to the heart. I lay in the dark, clutching a pillow, and felt hatred slowly filling me. It rose from deep within, like poisonous lava, burning everything in its path. How could they do this to me? How could they betray me? In the morning, I met Sarah. She smiled as if nothing had happened, asking how I was doing. I looked at her and saw not a friend, but a traitor. Her smile, which once seemed so genuine, now looked fake. Her words, which once comforted me, now sounded like mockery. "How are you?" she asked, as if nothing was wrong. I clenched my fists under the table to keep them from shaking. A storm was raging inside me. I wanted to scream, tear my hair out, throw everything I knew in her face. But instead, I just smiled and said, "Everything's fine." She laughed, said something about work, about weekend plans. I nodded, but I didn't hear her. All I could think about was how they both laughed at me, how they planned their meetings while I trusted them. When she left, I stayed at the table, staring into emptiness. The hatred I felt was so strong that I could almost physically feel it. It was like a fire burning everything inside. And then I decided they didn't deserve an easy way out. If they thought I would just break down and leave, they were wrong. They didn't know what I was capable of. I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't beg them to explain why they did this, no. They deserved to feel the same pain they caused me. And I knew exactly how to do it. I started to act. First, I gathered all the evidence of their betrayal. Screenshots of their messages, photos, even recordings of their calls, everything that could prove their infidelity. Each new piece of evidence fueled my determination. Did they think they could play with me? That I would just sit down and cry? No. They were wrong. Then I created a fake social media account. The profile was perfect, a handsome guy, interesting photos, followers. I started messaging Sarah as a secret admirer. Of course, she fell for it. The attention flattered her. She had no idea it was me. Every message she sent, every laugh in response to my compliments only fueled my rage. She was so confident, so calm. But soon, she would learn what it means to play with fire. Meanwhile, I organized a romantic dinner for Jake. I told him I wanted to surprise him and asked him to meet me at our favorite restaurant. Of course, he agreed. Why wouldn't he? He thought everything was under control. That evening, I arrived first. I reserved a table, decorated it with candles and flowers. Everything looked perfect. But this wasn't a surprise for him. It was a trap. I asked the waiter to set up a projector. He was surprised but agreed. When everything was ready, I sat down and waited. Jake walked in with a smile. He was wearing his best suit, holding a bouquet of flowers. He approached the table, but his smile faded when he saw my face. "What's going on?" he asked, trying to stay calm. I didn't answer. Instead, I turned on the projector. Their messages appeared on the wall. Photos. Everything I had gathered. Every word, every laugh, every hint of their betrayal. Jake froze. His face turned white as chalk. He looked at the screen, then at me, then back at the screen. "Emily, He started, but I cut him off. "Don't, Jake. Don't say anything." People around us started whispering. Those at nearby tables looked at the screen, then at Jake. He tried to say something, but the words stuck in his throat. I sat and watched him. Inside, I was raging, but on the outside, I was calm. I wanted him to feel what I had felt. I wanted him to understand what it meant to be humiliated. And this was just the beginning. At the moment Jake tried to say something, Sarah walked into the restaurant. She was wearing her best dress, a slight smile on her face. But that smile disappeared the second she saw the projection. Her eyes widened in horror. She looked at the screen, then at Jake, then at me. Her face twisted as if she had just seen a ghost. "Emily, what is this?" she whispered, but I didn't answer. People around us started whispering. Some pointed at them, others laughed. Jake stood frozen, while Sarah tried to say something, but the words wouldn't come out. I stood up. My heart was pounding so loudly I could almost hear it. But I was calm. I looked at both of them and said loudly so everyone could hear, "Thank you both. Now I know who you really are." Jake tried to justify himself. He mumbled something about it all being a lie, a mistake. But I just turned around and walked away. The next day, I posted all the evidence on social media. Every message, every photo, every recording. I didn't write long posts or explanations. Just the facts. Their lives turned into hell. Jake lost his job. His boss saw the post and decided someone like him couldn't represent the company. Sarah fled the city. Her friends stopped talking to her, and her reputation was ruined. And me? I felt relief. They thought I would break, that I would just walk away and let them live their lives. But instead, I became stronger. I didn't just survive this, I destroyed them. And you know what? It was the best feeling of my life.